had to plan my son's funeral today and pick out his casket. McKnight, please don't be mad at me. That's what you said. Please don't be mad at me, and I'm not mad at you.
It was King's best friend, Assad. They grew up together here in Prince George's County. He told her he ran when the violence started, and he later found King on the ground in the parking lot.
All he kept saying was, don't die on me, bro, don't die on me. But Assad said, Miss McKnight, I checked his pulse on his wrist, I checked his pulse on his neck, and I took my sweater off and wrapped it around him. If this is not a friend right here, y'all, if this is not a friend, if these are not friends right here, y'all, they didn't leave my son to die. These are friends, and I'm grateful for them.
Welcome to Young Black Lives Honored. Be sure to subscribe, also give this video a thumbs up, and leave a respectful comment below. On April 17th, 2022, Jacquard McKnight was reluctant to take her son to Ritchie Station Marketplace shopping center off the Capital Beltway in Prince George's County, Maryland. Ultimately, she decided that he deserved it after he had cleaned his room. The mother dropped her son off at Dave & Buster's and told him to stay inside the establishment. Not long after dropping him off, she received a frantic call from his best friend, Assad. At the same time, law enforcement received several calls for assistance back-to-back, beginning around 10:12 p.m. due to a victim receiving knife wounds. Upon arrival, officers found 2 people with injuries to the upper body. 13-year-old King Douglas was wounded by bullets and pronounced deceased at the scene, while another teen was taken to a hospital with serious injuries apparently made by a knife. The other teen's injuries were not considered life-threatening, and he was later released from the hospital. Police questioned dozens of witnesses and investigated an area near Buffalo Wild Wings and another area near Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Police told the media representatives that the shopping center is filled with fast food joints and an arcade, but businesses do not allow unaccompanied minors inside at night. He further stated that when parents dropped their kids off to hang out, they have nowhere to go. When the officers arrived, they found as many as allegedly 100 preteens and teenagers clustered around the scene. Jacquard spoke at a candlelight vigil held 2 days following her son's senseless demise, which was attended by family, friends, and county leaders in King's honor, and to grieve as they prayed for the affected family and community.
I had to plan my son's funeral today and pick out his casket.
Jacquard McKnight says her son begged her to go out with friends on Saturday. It was later she got the call.
Miss McKnight, please don't be mad at me. That's what you said. Please don't be mad at me, and I'm not mad at you.
It was King's best friend, Assad. They grew up together here in Prince George's County. He told her he ran when the violence started, and he later found King on the ground in the parking lot.
All he kept saying was, don't die on me, bro, don't die on me. But Assad said, Miss McKnight, I checked his pulse on his wrist, I checked his pulse on his neck, and I took my sweater off and wrapped it around him. If this is not a friend right here, y'all, if this is not a friend, if these are not friends right here, y'all, they didn't leave my son to die. These are friends, and I'm grateful for them.
The kids can't be kids no more.
Diamond Coley came to the vigil with her son McKnight. At 13, he's now lost 4 friends his age to gun violence. He also knew Micaiah Wilson, Karan Brown, and Davon McNeil, all killed in D.C.
He has his moments where, you know, he'll just break down. So I don't know. Right now, we're just trying to figure it out. We're thinking about therapy and things like that. Just trying to figure it out. It's really sad, though, that these kids are so young going through things like this.
The county executive, Angela Brooks, also came to this vigil. The family said they were very thankful for that. And she told me that this Thursday she plans to announce some new initiatives, some activities and outlets for children here in the county this summer.
Throughout the evening, several fights took place, several skirmishes, several other things just moving around the parking lot.
Left to mourn Monday in the very same parking lot where he died was King Douglas's family and friends. His mother can't believe he's gone.
I'm suffering. My son is suffering. daughter somewhere is out here suffering. We don't have my son.
She said she had to plan her son's funeral Monday, even pick out his casket.
The worst feeling ever. 12 years old with a gun. And you ain't mean to shoot my son. All you saying is, I'm sorry. I ain't mean to shoot him. My God. But my son gone.
Prince George's County Executive Angela Brooks showed up to support Douglas's family, too. A mother herself, she said she couldn't imagine the pain they're feeling.
This does not reflect on these children. It reflects on us. When a child is able to die in a community like this, when it says something not about the children, but it does say something about society.
Police said they did not believe the incident was random, and a preliminary investigation revealed both woundings were a result of a dispute between two groups of juveniles in the shopping center. A 12-year-old boy from D.C. went to the police department with his mother and confessed to the crime. He told law enforcement that his friend handed him the weapon when the fight broke out, and following the incident, he returned the weapon to his friend. He was arrested and charged with first-degree murder as a juvenile, and due to his age, has not been identified. Under Maryland law, individuals under 14 cannot be charged as adults in murder cases. The preteen was the 8th juvenile charged with murder in the county at the time. It was also revealed that the victim of the stab wounds was a friend of the unidentified 12-year-old, and King was not a part of the altercation. On August 2nd, one day before what would have been King Douglas's 15th birthday, his family members packed a Prince George's County courtroom for the sentencing of the now 14-year-old who was charged in his passing. There was tension and overwhelming emotions for the entirety of the 2-hour matter. Family and friends on both sides of the courtroom cried and could be seen trembling. Others bowed their heads to pray several times throughout the hearing. Through devastation, King's father had noted that his son rarely asked to go out. The victim's family wanted a tough penalty for the teen. The state's attorney's office had requested that the teen be held at a juvenile corrections facility. In making the decision, the judge told the court it's his job to follow Maryland law when it comes to juveniles. Ultimately, he sided with juvenile services and sentenced him to an indefinite supervision probation period. The 14-year-old was ordered to undergo both family and individual counseling and anger management. He'll also have a GPS monitoring device put back on. King's family was visibly and audibly surprised in court when it was confirmed that the perpetrator was already out in the community without any type of monitoring device. The judge said in his decision that the 14-year-old had not had any incidents in the several months since he was released. Following the sentencing, some people stormed out of the courtroom, and King supporters were extremely disappointed. Maryland has strict juvenile privacy laws, and as such, the media is prohibited by the court from identifying the shooter, even though he confessed and has now been sentenced. Over the phone, the public defender representing the teen called the whole situation horrible, but emphasized that after the shooting, the 14-year-old was found to be incompetent, not understanding what was happening for about a year. She also spoke of his self-improvement since then.
A Maryland family says that they did not see accountability today. That family packed a Prince George's County courtroom for the sentencing of a 14-year-old. When that teen was just 12 years old, police say that he shot and killed 13-year-old King Douglas. Douglas's family wore the victim's picture on their shirts to make sure everybody saw King's face.
And Angie, I can tell you it was an incredibly tense and emotional, nearly 2-hour sentencing hearing held today in Prince George's County, where we heard testimony from even 13-year-old King Douglas's little little sister. The family calling for justice, asking for this now 14-year-old suspect to be held in some kind of capacity. The judge, though, saying that it is his job to follow Maryland law when it comes to juveniles, ordered this suspect under indefinite supervised probation. Victim's mother says this is a slap in the face.
To completely allow this boy to have freedom after a murder and saying, you know, I understand how serious the crime is, and then allow this boy, there's no worse crime than murder, and you allowed this child to get off on a murder case that he admitted to. It's crazy to me. It's heartbreaking. It's sad. I'm worried. I'm really worried for our juveniles.
And guys, King's family and mother, frustrated with the county's push for rehabilitation, wanted a tough sentence to serve as an example to any future youth engaging in this type of violence.
May the family and friends of King Douglas find solace in the happy memories, and may his soul rest in perpetual peace. Thank you.